Good morning everybody, welcome to Kate Space. I'm Kate from Pixie Designs and today it is my turn to do a prompt for Junk Journal July. So this is my video and we are doing day 23, so the 23rd of July, and it's tip-in. So there are lots of videos on YouTube about tip-ins and I went and watched a few of them to just have a look at what everybody else kind of thought about tip-ins. So I did have a look at some dictionary sort of definitions, so I thought we'd start there. So basically it's the practice of adding a page after printing and binding. Now it's different from extending a page. So say you have a junk journal or a journal and you want a picture, instead of folding it so it's the wrong way around, you want the picture to be the right way up, say the page is too big. One way is to cut the image down and then see how I've got a short page here. I've actually extended it with this, so it's actually a bound-in page which has a short bit which I've then extended. So that's a little bit different, and page extensions could be a whole another topic basically. So let's have a look at an old book that's got some tip-ins. So the Collins Dictionary says to insert a map, picture, etc. by pasting along the inner edge in book binding. And just a note, tip-in is also, if someone wants to go on a completely different tangent with this prompt, is a play in which a slight tap or deflection of the ball or puck scores a goal. So there you go, you could go completely, with that sort of idea of tip-in. So basically it's called tipping or tipping in, and again, to paste the inner margin of a map, illustration or other plate into a signature before gathering. So that's different, that's saying before, putting it in before binding. And another definition, in book binding, the act or method of inserting an extra page, illustration or etc. in a bound book by pasting it to the binding edge of a section. So tipping is the noun, tipping in. Right, so that was Webster's Dictionary. So let's have a look at this old book because this has got some tip-ins. The first one I thought was interesting is just this one, and this is like just pasted here down the binding edge, and it's not actually bound in, and it's just a little page, so it just talks about the subscription available for this book. The other thing that is tipped in this book is this piece of beautiful old tissue. So this is glued down the side and right in against this binding, and it just protects this illustration. And one of the things I love to add to my journals is like vellum or tissue like that. So that's beautiful. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting is this is tipped in as far as I can tell. And this is an illustration. So it's a double page that's been tipped in. This is a very beautiful book. And yes, you can see how it's glued down this side and tipped in. So there we go. Those were the tip-ins I could find. I wanted to try finding one that had a map because, you can tip something in and fold it out. So those are the tip-ins, old school. The other thing I was thinking about is traditionally tip-ins are against the binding edge. So this here, we could say this is a tip-in, but really it's a fold out. But I mean, now we're just getting to semantics, and really, do we care? We're junk journalists. Do we really care about what's a tip-in and what's a fold out? I think it doesn't really matter. I think a page extension is completely different to a tip-in. I think the idea of the tip-in is you're adding a page to your journal that either you don't have enough pages, or you want to add an illustration, or you want to hide some journaling or something like that. So you're adding an actual extra page. So let's go through and just have a look at some of the tip-ins I've done. So it can be an whole extra page that you're adding to your journal. And I've done that in my writing journal. And you'll have to excuse my writing. So here I have added a tip-in with washi tape. So this is a whole extra page that I think I've actually just added the washi tape down the side, and I've tipped it in onto this page to add more writing space for me, as opposed to here, which is a page extension. So I've got a page that's short here and it's bound in, and then I've added this to extend that page. So I guess it's kind of the same. Like I said, it's kind of semantics, isn't it? So all the different things that you could tip in. You could tip in a photo. So imagine I've got this, it's actually a postcard, but it is also a photo. So you could tip this in and you could write on the back, or it could just be purely for decoration. A postcard, you could tip in a postcard, which I have done somewhere. And again, I've used washi tape, and I've just really liked this image. So this was Junk Journal January, so I wanted to add this. I've put a photo on the back and a little bit of just some music paper, but I've kept that script because I thought it was pretty. And yeah, so that is one idea. The other thing that you can tip in, and this one is tipped in using sewing, is, see, I've made this an extra page, but really it's more for decoration, but it is still tipped in, and it's covering up some journaling. This is an envelope which I've tipped in, and I've used fabric here, and the whole envelope opens, and then you've got this lovely die cut, and then that's just using some old sellotape there and some fabric there, and then also strengthened with some washi tape as well. This here is some vellum, and vellum is one of my favorite things to tip in, but this is this goes this way. So again, I've sewn it down this edge. I could easily have had it so it opens the other way, but I love how it's stitched. I've typed on this, and I love this with the photo showing through of David and Valley, and you can open it up if you want to have a better look, but you can also read the poem. This is one of my all-time favorite pages, and look how simple that is. Yeah, so that is one other way. I've got some other things here that we could tip in. I've got, obviously, this is some vellum or tracing paper that you can cut to size. Thinking again that your tip-in could be the same size as your page, or it could be something smaller like we saw in that old book. And this is some paper, it's called butter paper, which is it's just really soft. Maybe that's why it's called butter paper, but it's like a tracing paper. What else? Letters. Well, we've seen a letter tipped in. Let me have a look what's in this journal. Oh, the other thing is you could get excited and do something like a tip-in that comes from the top, and again, this is using washi tape, and I like how that looks. This one here I really like. So this is basically the same as that double page in that old book that we just looked at, and so this is a whole pattern cover that I've tipped in, and I've glued it to this page. So I guess if I had not glued it to this page here, it would make a whole extra page, but it's made just one extra page in the journal. So that is something to think about as well. And yeah, we've got more vellum here, and that's just glued at the top here. That's not anything special, but again, it's got the beautiful typing, and that's something I use a lot. I really like it in my journaling. I think it's really effective, and I use a computer because I don't have lettering that I enjoy. Again, here's another envelope that's tipped in, hiding a photograph. And what do we have here? And again, some more vellum which lifts up, and again it's sewn in here. And like I said, I really like that. The other thing is if you've made a beautiful journaling card or tag and you want to use it, you can tip it in. I've made this one a pocket, but you could easily actually tip this in. I could have slipped it underneath this washi tape here, and that could open up, and that could be some journaling space here if I wanted to, or photo, and then you'd get to enjoy this and you wouldn't have to faff around with the paper clip. So yeah, I do add a lot of pages to my journals, and I guess that's why they turn out so chubby. Here's another envelope. Again, it's more of a fold out, but it is adding another page, so I feel like it's could be included as a tip in. Right, so yeah, so envelopes can be tipped in. This one here is something that you could tip in, and it could, you know, fold out, so you could tape it down this side and it would open out and open out, but also it would turn right over like that, so you would give yourself a lot of extra space in your journal. Window envelopes are really lovely things to tip in because they can show stuff behind. So I've got lots of different sizes here. These are modern, and this is more of a junk mail situation, which you can decorate up, and you can put it in like that, or you could rip down here and just have it as a tip in here at, you know, here at the inside of your journal, and it opens out. So that's a good one. A postcard is a good one to tip in. A greeting card, a note card is really cool, so you could tip the whole thing in, so you ended up with all those pages. Or you could again tear this off and just use this one piece of paper, which would be nice and light. Embossed paper is really cool to tip in. It's really beautiful and decorative, and again you can lift it and hide something underneath it, and it looks really beautiful. And another thing is these very old letters. You could tip this in and it could open right out, so you could enjoy just the beauty of it and the age of it. And these look gorgeous tipped into your journal as well, and you could do a little bit of decoration on it if you wanted to. So there's some ideas for tipping in. The things that I've already talked about most of them that you can use to tip in, obviously double-sided tape, glue obviously, which is what they would have done back in the day, but double-sided tape is good for vellum or anything really. And what will happen is when you put that on your piece, you will then fold. There'll be a fold in the piece that you've put in. Washi tape, either plain or more decorative, so it adds a decorative element. Again, glue, stitching, as you've seen I've done. Fabric, so strips of fabric. Again, just a strip of paper can work really well, either a decorative strip or just very plain and neutral if you don't really want to make a feature of it. And also strips going sort of more this way also work. So maybe some strips of fabric on your tip-in, or some strips of tape on your tip-in or paper. Why would we do it? Well, it's because maybe I've made this journal and I know I'm getting to the end of it, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to have enough pages for 30 prompts because I've used a lot of double pages. So I'm going to do a tip in. I'm going to add a page here so that I've got more pages in my journal, or just for no reason at all, just something completely decorative. Like I said, the beautiful embossed paper that someone's made, and you could just tip that in as something that looks just really beautiful in your journal, and you just wanted to add that. I have this Christmas journal here that I have tipped this in here. So as you can see, I've used some sari silk and I've stitched, and I've tipped this page in, which also has this beautiful card sort of sitting in it. So again, this is really pretty much just for decoration, and it's added a whole page to this journal. Here we have a fold out, so it's not really a tip-in, but it is, yes it is, okay, it's a tip-in. So I've done this one here, that's added an extra page, and I think that's all. No, I've added an extra page here as well, so here's another tip-in as well. Oh, and here. So this one here is very much a tip-in because it's an actual extra page that's been inserted into this journal, into the binding, what would be the binding if it wasn't a an accordion journal. So yeah, I love how that works. That's really interactive, so I think I might try that. So yeah, lots of added pieces and bits and pieces. They add so much interest to your journal. So yeah, that, I mean, I guess that's another reason. So for practical reasons, to add pages, for decoration, simply to make something look pretty or interesting, and also yeah, for interest, so for interactive reasons, so that a journal becomes something that someone interacts with, and there's things to open, etc. All right, so let's get started on a few tip-ins in this journal. Right, the choices are endless with tipping in, so I thought I would go through and just tip a few things into my journal. Now, so the first one I want to do is this little library catalogue card that I decorated a while ago, and I've been hanging on to it. I sell these catalogue cards in my shop, and I did a video just decorating some of them, which I'll link below. I love this one. I've been hanging on to it, so I think I'll put it in my journal. It's quite lumpy, so I'm thinking that maybe just to keep things a little bit less bulky, I'm just going to use some washi tape on this one. I think I'm just going to go for this sort of neutral one because I don't want to decide, you know, I haven't decided what I'm going to do here, so I'm just going to place it on there. And then I'm going to snip it. Level with the edge of the piece. And then I'm going to fold it back on itself. Now I want it to get right into that fold. And this is where I guess you have the advantage of these journals, is that they fold out. And I want to put it right in there. I'm just deciding whether I want it up or I want it central. There we go, it's going there. So there we go. And I'm hoping that that's pretty straight. It's going to have to do. And then I'm going to put some more washi tape here on this side just to give it a bit more strength. So there we go, there's my first tip-in. So when we come to this page, we'll have this like this, so I can do something on the back and something here. So yeah, so that's my first one using washi tape, and I really like how that looks. The next one I want to do in the front part of the journal. I'd like to do some vellum, but I'm just thinking, would I want to type on it, or do I just want to put some vellum in and then maybe do some decorating underneath? I thought this was quite a good place because I am going to cover all of this up, I can imagine, in the future. So I'm just thinking I might do a full vellum page tip-in. So I'm just going to mark to the edge of my page here and to the edge, bottom edge down here. So that's how big I need to make it. I'll just go to my cutter and trim it. As I was looking through some of my old journals, finished journals, completed journals, I noticed that I use a lot. I put a lot of extras in, and one of the reasons I was suddenly remembering, you know, when we were talking about reasons for putting tip-ins, and one of the ones that I use a lot is for extra photos. Maybe if you're a journaler and use photos, which I do, and you've got maybe an event that you're journaling and you've got extra photos, tip-ins are a great way to make space for extra photos if you want to include more things on a certain event. So for this one, I'm going to run my glue, hopefully in a lovely straight line, down the edge of my vellum, or you could use double-sided tape, which would do exactly the same thing as this. Hopefully. And again, I'm going to slide this right in to where the fold is. And just press down. And the way that will work is it will bend back on itself like that. Oops, now I've got glue on there, which must have had some on my finger. So there we go. We now have another tip-in that goes there. The other thing I wanted to use was this grungy old thing. I don't want to use the whole thing. I think it's too big, although I could leave it and make it the right size. But I quite like the idea of having the window envelope. And this time I'm wondering if I do something like this. And come around that way. So I am going to tear this off. So this is just a piece of junk mail, as you can see, and it's got the sticky bit here. I don't want that. I'm going to tear that off because I don't need that much to join. Oh dear, it's really sticky. Join to my book. So I'm just going to peel that sticky double-sided tape bit off for now. And then I'm going to have a look at the sizing here. If I do it this way, it's going to be too big. So this would be more of an opening out one. Or, again, it could be opening out, or it could go this way and open like that. See, that looks pretty, seeing that rose through there. Yeah, so that looks nice. Let's measure this so it's the right height and fold it up. So I'm just going to fold it there. And I'm just going to tear it. It didn't tear very well. That's okay, we can just trim that off with some scissors here. And then, am I going to wrap this around here? Or not? I think I might. It'll strengthen that page there, and then we can do maybe something with that, or we can cover it up if we want to. Okay, so I want it to be relatively straight. and this needs it, because this is going to be opening and closing, you do need a little bit of a gap there. So let's see where that fits. Oh yeah, I think that's okay. So now we need to decorate it. And I think I'll keep it sort of neutrals. Right, I'm going to use this French book page, so let me just sort of wrap it around for now to get an idea of how big I need it to be. If I get started, then maybe I'll make some headway. That paper's quite thin too, so I actually could wrap it round. So I'll go like that. And I think I'll just start gluing it down. I've turned my heater off because it makes a noise, and I don't want it to be sort of this noise in the background. I hope everybody's well. At the time of this video, I'm well. But like I said, I am filming in advance, so. But I can guarantee it will still be cold when this video goes up, because we are heading deeper into winter. We have had our shortest day, however, but it still feels like we are very much in the throes of the winter. I'd like to use some of this. We don't need this piece here either. Let's see if we can get that to tear off without making a mess. Right, we're going to go that way. The window, about there, hopefully. Let's see if we got that right. I think that works. Okay, we'll just go around and trim it after, I think. Here I have something that I printed sort of round the wrong way. I'm wondering whether I might use some of this. I like this one here, so I'm just going to tear it off right like that. Probably needed it to be a little bit wider. So I might go down there like that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to glue that on and we'll go from there. So it'll be fun as I work through my journal to come to this part of it. Like this as well, and this is kind of narrow, so this might work well up here. It does. So I think we'll just commit to that. and go, oh yeah, I made that right at the beginning of the month. Now what am I going to do with it? Because we don't know what prompt it will end up being. I might just wrap that round. Why not? It's very unlike me to be quite so, I don't know, leave things to fate like that. Right, do we want maybe this here? I think so. Although I like this bit. What part of that bit could we use? That would look nice there. Also, depending on how I tip it in, or you tip it in, if you use washi tape, you could remove it, and you came across it and you went, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? You can actually take it out. But everything can be covered up and changed, and I mean, that's just the great thing about the whole journaling sort of process. It's so flexible, shall we say. Should we just put that one there? Ooh, I'm getting a bit bluey here. Yeah, I like that. So we'll put that there. Just going to fold it up that way. Bit of glue. Now I can't remember which way up it went. I feel like it went the other way. That's the way I'm going to put it. Okay. She's a bit rough and ready, but that's okay. Because this is for my own journal. All right, we've got this side to do now. Might use some more of this French book page down this side. That way. Yeah, like that. All right, now that's just a quick sort of collage window envelope, and I think I'm going to pop it here. Just thinking, do I want that? I'm just deciding whether I want it like that or whether I want it like that. I think I'm going to go that way. So I can glue this right all down, or I can leave it a little bit free so that I can make it into a tuck spot or decide later what I want to do. So that's always a good thing if you're sort of working ahead. There we go. Right, so I'm gonna glue down here and across there and there, but not right to the edge. And then I'm going to try and push that right in, and let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, so that didn't work that well, because I'd quite like not to be able to see that. So maybe I should have covered this up with something here. I could just pop some washi tape there. Let's do that. Just to cover up that, oh, it doesn't really work. Oh. Cover up that blue bit, the inside of that envelope. Now, let's have a look. I always struggle with where the bend is in these. I know people find these easy to work in, but because I'm not used to it, I find them harder than a normal book. Right, so I want it like that. Is that right? Okay, I'll just do that again. Now we've marked up, made a mess. Okay, let's see if this works better this time. There's my fold. That's better, I think. There we go. So there's another tip in, but that one is actually folding out. So for the purist, maybe it's not a tip in, but it is an extra page. It's got that lovely window there, so then we can decide what we want to do with it. We can close it up and actually turn it into a pocket in the future, which makes it not a tip in anymore, but that's okay. We can decorate it some more and do something more here. So that is that. So we've done that tip in. What else have we done? Let me find the other one. Here is our other one. This is the vellum one, which we use glue down here. And I think there's another one, the little library card, which is also in this half of the, yep, and then we've got our library card, which is using the washi tape. So that's 3 tip-ins. I can absolutely guarantee there will be more. There will definitely be more in this journal by the time I finished. I imagine it will get quite fat because I will use probably photos and lots of extra bits and pieces added to the pages. Yeah, I hope it was helpful, and that if you haven't already joined in with Junk Journal July, join in now. Go back and look at some of the prompts, get yourself a journal and just start journaling. Use it for memory keeping or photos or writing or quotes or poems or anything. It's just a really good sort of jumping off point. So I hope that you will get involved. Thanks, Meg, for inviting me to take part again this year. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Please give this video a thumbs up or subscribe so that YouTube can pop it out to other people who might be interested if you've enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for everything and have a great week. I'll see you again soon. Bye.